What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 21 of Spoiler Alerts. I'm ChanManV, and joined, of course, by Ellohime, Eat My Diction. And we've got a new guest today, TheMavShow.
Our first female guest.
Yeah.
What's up?
We don't hate women on this show.
We only invited her for diversity. That's it.
Yeah, purely. So you've got an Asian
Don't
now.
know I'm actually a guy, so.
Oh.
Foiled again.
Well, I'm in trouble.
Oh, man.
So what's up, Chan? How you doing today, man?
Good, man. Excited to talk about Beauty and the Beast today, given that I saw it about 2 weeks ago now, so I'm trying to jog my memory and make sure we've got all the thoughts and
I saw it yesterday,
feelings.
so I'm fresh.
Oh, really?
I'm fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
What's
Yeah,
on
it was
that
a couple
day?
weeks for me too. Yeah, I saw it like not when it first came out, but when we first said we were gonna do it. I think that Thursday or that Friday or Saturday we went and saw it. So yeah. Before we get into all that though, if it is your first time here, welcome to the show. I'm just gonna give a quick rundown real fast of what we do here. This is Spoiler Alert, and as the title entails, we will talk about everything about the movie, like anything we thought about it, spoilers included. It's an open discussion. The idea of the show was that sometimes when we watch things, we want to get on the internet and talk about them, but not everybody has seen it. So we have to stay quiet and make sure we don't spoil it for other people. So this is one of the places we can go and do. Yeah, that's dumb. That's super dumb. Why am I held back because of them? No, but we get here and we talk about it. And yeah, so if you guys want to chime in the chat, if you guys have thoughts or comments or questions or anything really, you can chime in the chat at any time and join us along the way. And then at the end of the show, we will reveal what we are going to go and watch or read this week, and then meet back next week, and we will talk about that. But you won't know what that is until the very end of the show. So welcome to the show. Anything new with you guys this week? Anything at all? Not show related before we get into it?
Oh, I mean, there's a big announcement on a game I play. It's no big deal.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, what is that?
No big deal. Just not Destiny 3, 2. I don't know. Something special this week.
Finally on PC.
Finally.
Voice acting.
Jeez.
Yes. It's good.
I believe it wasn't it called is Destiny 2 the return of Tywin Lannister, or is it Tywin? Is it Tyrion Lannister? Tyrion Lannister, yeah.
Tywin Lannister.
Return.
Yes.
He's still alive.
Yeah, man. It's Dynasty 2, the Peter Dinklage story. Dynasty 2.
The truest love story.
Yeah. I just remember when I first got into Destiny, the first one, and I heard his voice acting for
You're
the
like,
robot.
whoa.
And I was like,
came from the moon. The greatest meme of something bad in a video game ever.
Well, there's actually a quest that actually had both of the ghosts, and he cleared his voice and ended up being the other actor. But it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. It was rough starting out, man. I remember listening to that. I was like, he has to be a robot, but he just sounds unenthused.
He sounds sad. Yeah.
It sounds like they just like it sounds like the cat that caught him like in his trailer on Game of Thrones. They're just like, "Can you record a couple lines for us?" He's like, "All right, fine, okay."
He's like, "I didn't get paid
$100.
enough."
Like,
Yeah, he's like, "I didn't get paid enough for this. Welcome to the game."
So are you ready for the influx of new users and people to interact with?
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's already been so awesome and positive, and so many streamers want to come play, and just already being in the community and seeing some stuff, like it's just gonna be awesome. Like people are like, "Oh, the Destiny community is like not so receptive," but it's like we're like a big family. We're just like, come on in, let's go, let's do this.
You always get the good and the bad, right? You always get like a couple of people that are like, "Oh, now you want to stream Destiny now that it's popular again." You know, that kind of crowd.
Right.
But I found that most Destiny the Destiny community are very, very welcoming. I think that has to do a lot with the people that stream it too. You know, like,
well, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to keep it that way. You know, it's a lot of work to make a community run, because we're definitely a dysfunctional family. Like we get into arguments and stuff, but we hug it out. So it's like, yeah, it takes work, but it's worth it, because look at the convention that's coming up. Like, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, which I will be there for every day.
Yes, every day.
Super fun. Yeah. Dixie, what's going on with you, man?
not a whole lot, really. I had like a bout of insomnia on Sunday, and I just didn't sleep at all for like 36 hours. So like that was a rough start to the week. Did you at least
stream? Do you just like stream?
No, I was on my couch like trying to I was like watching TV, and I just like would fall asleep for like 30 minutes at a time. So there's no way I was streaming that day.
That's when you gotta like disconnect and just like go through that.
But I fixed it. My sleep schedule's back to normal. So
that's
Yay.
good. That's good.
That's
Chan,
good.
did I ask you if anything was going on with you?
Oh, thanks. Thanks for remembering it.
I think I did.
Totally.
I think I did. Did I?
I don't think you did, but not too much. Just the same old.
All right. Well, that's cool. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. So screw you, man. Screw you. No, but I do want to talk about the movie. So let's just go. Let's just move on.
Oh, okay, so you're ready.
He's ready. Man. He's ready to roast.
We've been holding it back this entire pre-show, so it's
testicles.
Okay.
Yes.
Gaston's testicles.
Gee, you're so obsessed with Gaston. This is crazy.
He's a beautiful specimen. Please.
Yeah, okay, all is good is what they said.
All is good. All right.
Okay. Hopefully it stays that way. Cool.
Okay, well, I think we're good.
All right,
now,
so let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's talk about the positives first today. All right, like
Dan Stevens. I love Dan Stevens.
Okay, Dan Stevens. Dan Stevens is the beast for folks.
He's amazing.
Who I didn't even know really until the end when he was like, "I'm Dan Stevens," and I was like, "Legion!"
And then like they go into Legion right after that. It's like, guess what? I'm also an X-Man.
Exactly. You couldn't tell through all that makeup.
Turns all his friends back into fucking like candlesticks and shit.
See, I haven't seen Legion yet, so I didn't recognize this guy at all. Like when he turned into the Beast, I was like, hey, it's a guy.
This is like his first really big role that he's had. Like the last time he was like the star of a film was The Guest, which was like a horror film, so not a lot of people saw it.
So like how did
he's breaking out, I feel like. He's like starting to like become a superstar because like he was always around and stuff, but ever since Legion and now this movie, I feel like he's in the big leagues now as an actor.
I mean,
I have never heard of the guy. I've never seen the guy. And the fact that he's in like a hit TV show and now in a Disney movie, like all of a sudden out of nowhere, I mean, that's got to be a pretty fucking huge deal. I feel like if you do a movie, like a Disney movie, like you're
set.
Like you're set. Like you're
here's the thing.
But GG.
But in this movie, you barely even see his face. So is it the same? You know, because it's not quite voice acting, but it.
No. He's that.
I know that's actually him.
He was the Beast. Like he was on set as the Beast, and they just animated over his face to make it bigger.
Yeah.
And like add the fur, but the costume is real. I could tell the costume was actually real. Like he was on stilts, and like the hair was real. It was literally just the face to make it proportionate to the rest of his body.
I actually like the Beast's face.
Yeah, I do too. I thought the Beast was one of the best.
Yeah,
parts.
everyone, like everybody, even the press was like, the Beast looks bad, and I was like, it's a masterpiece. Are you kidding? It doesn't even look CG.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I did like the Beast too, and even more, I liked the Beast's attitude. I like the portrayal of him. He's way more pretentious than he is in the animated series. I feel like. He's got this air, this like royalty to him, you know.
Yeah, well, they did.
It's important because he is royalty, right? And he's got this hubris about him, this royalty hubris, and that's the whole downfall of him, right? So it made sense.
When he had all the ladies, I was like,
so hoity-toity.
I was like, are we allowed to have this on a Disney movie? Are we allowed to have all like this harem before the movie?
Right.
Yo, Disney. I'm here for this.
No, he was pretty too, though. He had makeup on and his own kind of wig and everything.
What? I mean, I don't care.
I don't care. See, this is why we have you on, man.
I need a prince in the streets, but a beast
you want to
in the
wear
sheets.
lipstick? I mean, that's fine.
No, I think the lead up to it, that was definitely one thing that was different than animation. They gave us some time, showing the ball and all that. In the animation, it's just narrated. It's just a bunch of stills, right? It's narrated and it kind of leads into the first song.
I think it's a picture book, like it's like an actual storybook they're flipping through.
Yeah. Which is what it is, and how Disney liked to do movies back in the day. You know, with the 2D, and then introducing 3D with Beauty and the Beast. That's when I started to like get into animation, so I appreciate that.
No, Beauty and the Beast. So I guess to start off, Beauty and the Beast, the animated movie, is like easily my favorite Disney movie.
So top 5.
Had high expectations for this movie, and probably expectations that could never be
back,
met.
Apparently.
Oh God. All right.
Is it Zoom? Because I hate Zoom. We should just stop using Zoom.
No, it's not. It can't be Zoom because it's we're not even using audio for Zoom. So
it might be affecting the audio.
Could be just Discord.
No, it's. I think it's the broadcaster. So let me figure it out. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's top 3 for me. I mean, the animated one was top 3. I always liked it because I thought the music was all right, but I always like the just the theme in general. Just the don't judge people. Maybe they've all got their stories, stuff like that. Don't judge people. Maybe
don't judge people who are hairy.
Gaston, you can judge that racing curve all you want. Like that dude's a fucking chode.
Well, there's one thing I learned. Like I feel like there's not enough old
belts. Fine.
There's not enough old women out there that aren't like going up and asking for things from old people. Like I feel like if an old woman came to me and was like, "Can I stay there and stay at your house? Here's a rose." I would be like, "Yes, come right in, Enchantress. Like I know your tricks."
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, how often did that happen to him?
Yeah.
Right.
Stop coming to my castle. Doesn't he have security guards? Like,
I don't even like roses.
I'm an orchid guy. You should know this.
But I feel like even in real life, there should be some old women out there really taking advantage of all the Beauty and the Beast fans.
You should have 2 different types of doorbells. To be 1 for normal, 2 for if you're an enchantress, please. Thank you. I don't want a rose though.
You can come in and do whatever you want. Just be sure to leave a blessing or an enchantment on the house and you'll be good to go. So I really liked Beast. I thought he was done really, really well. Gaston, I felt like was pretty damn good.
Amazing.
I feel like Chan might
Gaston.
a little bit here.
I mean, I know Mav's just going to freaking just I don't even know. Just going to
give it to us, Chan. Give it
slobber all over.
Give it to us straight.
Gaston. But okay, so here's the thing about Gaston. I actually thought his singing was great. I mean, I think I picked Luke Evans was perfect for the singing aspect of Gaston. But whenever I think of Gaston, I think of this crazy giant buff wrestler. I mean, basically, I'm thinking of The Rock.
The that sort of thing. Like fucking Johnny Bravo.
Yeah,
the giant torso and tiny little legs and stuff.
Huge chin.
Yeah, so that part of it was not quite, in line with what I was expecting, but I thought he was good. I thought,
maybe if they got John Cena to play him.
Yeah, John Cena. Or
I know
The Rock,
he can sing.
If he just pops out of nowhere, we can start the movie.
How could Bill not love that? I mean,
here's the thing: is I agree. I don't think that his body type fit what we initially expect out of Gaston. Yeah,
but it's not like the Popeye movie from the '80s where they actually gave him the fucking weird arms and everyone looked exactly like the cartoon.
Yeah.
I think it's an adaptation. It's not supposed to be a direct
Well, if you've seen the live acting version of it, at Disney World, when they actually do the skit of Beauty and the Beast, they actually add prosthetics and padding and stuff. So I mean, I'm glad that they made it more realistic, not so cartoony because it is live action. But I mean, I kind of agree with that. When I saw him as Gaston, I was like, he's hot, but I don't know if I would have picked him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have picked him.
I would have picked Kevin Kline.
Yeah, as Gaston,
or Ewan McGregor, even as a candlestick.
Which I thought was. Listen, I didn't know that he voiced Lumineer.
It took me half the movie to realize that.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know till now.
Ian McKellen. I like it. I was like, who is that? And then he started doing.
See, I knew that.
He started
guy.
saying things that sounded like Gandalf, and I'm like, oh shit, it's fucking McKellen. Awesome.
I love the part with his wife, with Cogsworth's wife at the end there when he was like, help
he just doesn't want her. He's like, no, turn me back into a clock.
I want to be.
I like the musical choreography and the way they filmed the musical segments. Those were really enrapturing, especially good. Be Our Guest was awesome. It was exactly how I wanted it to be.
The entire movie, I feel was made for theater. The way that it was set up, it was set up more like a Broadway. It wasn't really Cinderella.
The director has a lot of Broadway background. I think he's directed a lot of Broadway musicals before. So,
well, because Cinderella was more like a movie, right? It had you were out in the world, but Beauty and the Beast was more set looking.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
I think it was better that way too. And I mean, I've seen the music. Have you guys seen the musical before or no?
I'm glad it wasn't the same.
No, okay.
No, I haven't seen the musical. I've just
the musical. It's great.
Yeah, but back to Lumiere, dude. I'm just going back to Lumiere because he was probably my favorite character, and he was cracking.
Wow.
He was cracking me up during the whole thing. Like when Cogsworth mentions the West Wing, and he's like, there is no West Wing. There's only the East Wing. Let's go to the East Wing, or as I like to call it, the only wing. I laughed out loud at that part. And it wasn't until the end of the movie when they all transform into their real peoples that I was like, oh, it's Ewan McGregor. No fucking wonder I love him so much. Like it just kind of, it's funny because it's like I learned how pure my love is for the man, because even when I didn't know it was him, he was I was a fan of his, like before I even knew.
You know what? I didn't even realize it was like, I didn't know going in it was him. So at the very end when everybody transforms, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
This is like crazy all-star cast. Yeah. Like insane.
I mean, they would have to. I mean, this thing's going to be in history forever. So they're going to go ahead and grab whoever. And I'm sure the actors were like, I'll do it, even though I'm not meant for it. Emma.
Before we get into that, I wonder if, the woman that did Miss Teapot, she was also like nanny.
Emma Thompson.
Yeah, but is there ever a role that she gets where she's like not a nanny? Maybe like Love Actually. I think she's in Love Actually.
She's
wasn't she?
She's like always the nanny.
Wasn't she in The Parent Trap?
Maybe.
Yeah.
As the nanny.
Wasn't she the mom? Oh no, that was
as the nanny.
I don't think that was her. Right?
Hey, she's getting money. She's getting paid. That's all that matters.
She's a great actress. I mean, she used to be in all those period. It was like every movie she was in, there was a period piece for a while.
Why? Because she's a girl.
Yo, apparently she's Merida's mother, and she's always the
mom figure or the nanny figure, like in everything. Like when she popped up, I was like, oh, of course it's the Nanny McBeal woman. Like, I don't even know her name. What's her name?
Yeah.
Emma Thompson.
Yeah, Emma Thompson. She's actually very accomplished.
Yeah, she's
and she was in Stranger Than Fiction. She was the author, the narrator.
That's right.
Yes.
And she would do that weird thing when she do that weird thing with her cigarettes where she would spit into a napkin and put it out in the napkin and like pocket it. It was fucking bizarre, dude.
But who else are you going to choose to replace Angela Lansbury? I mean, that's iconic, right?
She did good.
Yeah, she did great. It's going to be as close as you
get. So all the good casting choices. Now I guess we can talk about Emma Watson.
Well, we didn't talk about Josh Gad. Let's talk about Josh Gad first. I love
him, Olaf.
He's the comedic character in every kind of children's animated movies or whatever.
He pulled his weight with the singing though. He did a good job with the singing.
He did.
Yeah.
But he has a history of that, like that's his thing.
I mean, it's either him or Jack Black, guys. I mean, you got to choose between the two.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack Black's getting old,
Yeah, you're right. But didn't they say something about him like being sort of like a gay guy on the movie?
I was just about to say
even see that. I knew that before I went in, right?
That annoyed me.
Of that.
He even said like someone asked him like, "Why aren't you married yet?" And he's like, "Girls say that I'm clingy. I don't get it." And I was like, "Was that supposed to be a joke about him being gay and he's just being coy, or
there wasn't?"
Yeah, but then
wasn't any like magical moment.
But he was definitely like he was lusting after Gaston hard. Like
everybody was.
He was all over his dick.
Literally everybody was.
Well, you didn't know about the whole gay, homosexual innuendos until the very end, right? Where he glances at that dude and the guy looks back at him, right?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
No, they're dancing together. They're dancing together.
Oh, they're dancing
at the very end.
Yeah.
Well,
and like he was the one that got like the wardrobe made them all look like girls, and he was like happy about it. But he was like obviously gay, and then that's the dude that he's dancing with in the end. So he finds love in the end.
Yeah,
it's a happy story for everyone except for Gaston. He dies.
But that's like the only part that there wasn't any like huge news story. Character in Beauty and the Beast is gay. It's he just
had very, very like limp wristed qualities basically. Like he would do either way he walked and
or the
way
he
had eye makeup on. He would the way he looked at people. It was very subtle. But if you've been around gay people, you're like, oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, it's just
I've got a lot of questions about this because I'm really curious for people's opinions on what I'm about to say. And I'm gonna
Here we go.
homophobic
Here we go.
and race and all that stuff. Before we get into all that,
I hate the white race, all of it. Get rid of it all.
Wash the dishes.
Whoa.
Just all turn into albinos. No one can be mad about anything.
Here's what I'm gonna say is I felt like in this movie, one of the things I hated about this movie the most is how ham-fisted they wanted to make sure that you knew that there were interracial couples and gay people in this film.
I agree.
Now,
totally
now hold on though. Hold on. I will take this back for a second though. In the case of the character of what's his name, the Gaston, I always forget his name. What's his
LeFou?
LeFou.
Yeah.
I feel like his character was done exceptionally well. That I didn't feel like it was ham-fisted. I felt like we could figure it out. It was not who he was as a character. It
wasn't like, hey, we have a gay character. Look,
yeah, look at him. Look at him. He's
Disney.
right here. He's gay. We're Disney. Everyone's included, like it wasn't like that. But there were definitely times where I'm like, man, this is so out of place. This is so like just to be here, like the token black guy in the town. Like, I feel like sometimes it's more offensive when you have like one guy black guy that just seems totally.
No, there was a couple. There were a couple black people in the town.
Audra McDonald, right?
Audra McDonald. Because I only that like one guy.
No, well, in the market there was a couple. There were a couple black women that were selling like fruits and stuff.
Maybe.
And then then there were
one of the main.
The wardrobe lady, she was black, and then so was the
singer,
the feather duster.
Yeah, but most but most of the people who were black were there in interracial couples. Like at the end there was like 2 or 3 interracial couples out of all of the cast, which is again totally fine, but it just seems so like we're doing it, we're putting these in because we're Disney, like I love LeFou because it wasn't in your face. It was great. It was a great character. You could pick up, like I said, you could pick up on those vibes. You didn't have to make it a thing, but I felt like they made it a thing about certain characters. Like it was there on purpose. We did this for the inclusion, and here they are. So I actually appreciated the portrayal of the one gay character, and then kind of felt everything else was a little ham-fisted. Like even the scene where the one guy is clearly gay, like the dresser like dresses him, and it's like the flamboyancy and everything. It's like
that was a bit much. It would have.
We don't need it.
If he just looked at himself and did like a little like like something like that, little.
Yeah.
But he went like full on like.
Well.
Yeah. Stared at the wardrobe with his big fucking smile. It's like, all right, dude, calm down.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with having these in the film. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't like the way they went about it.
I agree, but at the same coin, like I feel like a lot of people are mindless to that, and they don't pay attention to stuff like that. So you have to. So a company like Disney has to make it almost painfully apparent sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because some people are just out of sight, out of mind. Like they don't think about it.
So, all right, so I guess
I can understand both sides.
Yeah, Chan.
I'll take the opposite. Well, at least with LeFou, for me with LeFou, and generally speaking with the movie, because again, like I hold the original one pretty high regard. It's like I felt like they made such a big. I don't know, like a big deal out of trying to modernize this, and they started with just Belle's character and Emma, and then with LeFou, I just felt like they didn't have to make him, gay, and if they wanted to make him gay, I felt like they should have, even though it was subtle, I feel like they should have made a bigger deal of him, just loving Gaston so much. So whenever he did disagree with Gaston towards the end, which they were trying to get at anyways, it would have had more of an impact. Like, oh, this guy that I love is doing something that really hurts me, like because it's really against what I feel, and it hurts me, and then or maybe I start looking at him differently because of it, because I love him, type of thing.
I feel like his
arc.
You
know what? You're
a lot more moments of him questioning his friendship with Gaston.
Yeah,
like it was really only when like fucking left Belle's dad to die in the woods that he was like, all right, maybe this guy's not on the level. It's like, really, that was the tip off for you?
But
even remember when with the fighting scene when Gaston's like, I'm sorry, old friend, and he was like, what?
Yeah, he's right. And in the movie, if he wasn't gay and he wasn't like in love with Gaston, it would have been fine. Like those type of things would have been more in line with what I think the original movie was like. But the fact that they went there, I mean, you have to go there, like even from a serious standpoint. Just go all the way with it. And if you're going to create the storyline for LeFou, you should commit to it. And I feel like they didn't quite commit to that, and that's why it just felt really forced because of it.
Yeah.
I could see that point. I can see that point entirely. That's not how I initially felt when I watched it, but I can agree.
I feel like they were dipping their toes with this movie into that, and like if they don't build on that, on like being more inclusive, like I hope they're building towards making a fairy tale story about like two women or two men that fall in love, you know?
Yeah.
And they don't make a big deal about it. That's just those are the characters. They're gay or they're bi or whatever. But as long as they put as much effort and like creativity into it as they did Beauty and the Beast and Lion King and Pocahontas and all those movies, you know, then fucking do it. I hope that they're doing that. Yeah. So if this is just them like testing the water, seeing like, all right, can we be a little more inclusive? All right, let's try it again, a little bit more, and then build to something bigger where it's like super just all inclusive. Everyone's represented in some way, you know.
Or it's just a big part. It's like a big part of the actual plot, and you know, it's integrated into it more than just thrown in, and it's kind of the side thing going on.
Yeah, I just felt like things just stuck out. You know, maybe as a kid watching it, no, I don't think many kids would even, you know, they wouldn't know the.
They wouldn't know.
They don't
notice anything.
You know, but like as an adult, I just felt, I don't know, it just like I saw certain characters and I was like, man, this seems like really like I said, it was just heavy-handed. You know, it's like right in your face. I'm like, okay, I get Disney. You know, but are we ready to go to?
Oh, not yet. Let's talk about the world. Let's talk about the town and the castle, or just the setting.
The production design was really impressive.
Yeah, especially for the beautiful. Holy crap!
Considering how fast the scenes went by, like I felt like the beginning was sort of slow, and then it was just like fast forward through like Broadway on crack. Like it was intense.
That's true.
Even if most of it was CG and basically green screened, it was really pretty, and whoever worked on that did a great job.
I like the castle. The castle is insanely well done. Just
and it
changes. It's falling apart in some areas, but it's barely staying together. It shows the magic there. It shows, it's almost a representation of the rose itself, you know. And
I like how the rose part.
The library was really fantastic. Like this is just huge library. There's this over the top, you know. But everything's all Gothic, you know. Everything's got that Gothic, grotesque, you know, like medieval era type architecture. I thought it was great. I thought it went aligned with everything.
Front area reminded me of Edward Scissorhands, like the lawn.
Yeah,
yeah. That's right.
Which I love. I love Edward Scissorhands. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. I like that.
I liked how the thing that happened in the beginning with the father was actually him taking a rose for Belle. I like how they made that a thing, because that wasn't in the original. The original, it was just a trespasser. The original was a trespasser. Like, what are you doing here? And I'm gonna take you in now. But in the movie, it was, you know, she all she wanted was a rose. So her dad got a rose, and that shows like he stole a rose. And
super selfish. Like, don't even take a rose from my garden.
Yeah,
exactly. Throw you in the dungeon.
Yeah,
everything here is mine. It belongs to me.
Mine.
and then I mean, I like the part that they did add to the story too, about her mom and all that too. That was something that was never discussed.
Yeah, the whole plague thing, because back in that time that there was some stuff going down, like some plague status. So having her go back to that memory was really awesome, actually.
Yeah, but why the fuck would her dad not tell her? Like,
that was kind of
that's
odd.
my biggest thing.
It's
like,
look at her dad. Hold
on. First of all, I just want to cover this. Is there any good reason why the dad doesn't just tell his daughter? I mean, she's what? Like, she's got to be. How old is she?
She's like 16.
16. Let's say conservatively, at a minimum age, she's 16.
She's
okay,
like,
you can tell your mom, you can tell your daughter at 16 that your mom passed away. She died to a sickness or an illness. Like, it's not a big deal, but he makes it this big, dramatic fucking thing. Like, I don't want to share that story with you. I don't want to. I'm going to keep this. So of course she's going to be like, well, what the fuck happened? He's like, it's just too terrible. You know, like, no, she got sick. She died. Like, why is that a big fucking secret? Like, that didn't make any sense to me at all. I didn't understand.
It could be the era. The only thing I could think of, because I felt the same way when I first saw it. I was like, that's it. But it could just be the era, because back in the day, it was like, if you are a single woman too in that sort of time slot, that was like not heard of.
Okay,
So,
I can.
Well,
I
he
can,
didn't.
Do you know what I mean? Like if your woman dies, like
Yeah.
you could be plagued as someone who
Yeah,
has like
that's true.
had bad luck or like juju or medieval situation, because that's how they used to think back in the day.
Okay, I can see that. I don't know. It's just
I'm
like it's not
I'm
like she.
trying to spin something.
I know. No, you're playing devil's avocado, and I appreciate it because I think that there is maybe an argument there. I don't think that's a bad argument. That because of the times there could have been, some, mystical whatever, and he might have been blamed or something like that. But at the same time, you got to think that like there's enough plague going around that people understand what the plague is, and not everybody's blaming everyone for the plague.
Well, they got mad at her. You got to remember too. They got mad at her for how she was washing her clothes. Like,
this is true.
This is true.
I don't know, man. It just seems so weird. It's like she didn't die in a brothel with her legs open. It's like
That was smart.
it's like, you know what I mean? Like she died to an illness. Like,
that's true.
wow, this is such a bad death. This is I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, she
I'm
was
so
on a fun
embarrassed.
team.
My wife died to a plague. I don't know. It seemed weird that they kept it.
It felt weird. They went back and nothing was touched, and they were like just chilling in there, like touching everything. Because like, doesn't the plague stay there for a while? Like, isn't it like infected? Like, it's like the division where everything's just like hazmat down. Like, what happened? Why are they in the same room that their mom died in?
I mean, I don't know much about plagues, but from what I hear, yes, they're pretty contagious.
I mean, but then we're talking time travel already. We're talking time travel already. All right. So what happens to the plague when we come back?
That's true. There was
we can talk about that for an hour. So.
Dude, I want that mirror.
Yeah.
Oh
that mirror
man.
is pretty
So what
sweet.
you're saying is that she could have gone back in time to that room and then caught the plague and then came back to the main time and then spread the plague all over again. That's a dangerous ass book, man. They didn't think of the consequences.
Oh man.
It's heavy. It's a heavy book.
You want to know what else I didn't like about? Okay, I'm going to throw out this other thing I didn't like.
All right, we're going to start talking about
this. Maybe you guys didn't even know. Maybe you guys didn't even see this. I thought, okay, so let's talk about the music. Maybe we should go there.
Oh, yeah.
The music I thought was very good. I didn't really catch up. Like, I didn't find the new music very catchy, and I didn't really feel like it needed to be there. But I'm okay with them attempting it, right? Like, I'm okay with them adding a song here or there, a little ditty or whatever, as long as the main music is there and it's beautiful and it's intact, which for the most part, I thought it was, barring some of these people who clearly needed some help with their singing. And I think we know who these people are. Some of them, I think, pulled it off really well. Some of them, I think, didn't.
I think we should thank those that couldn't do it. Thank the auto-tune. Thank the Academy for the auto-tune.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on. But here's my biggest complaint. Man. Maybe this didn't even bother you guys at all. If you watched during the singing numbers, during like the big Broadway kind of thing at the beginning in the town and all that stuff, if you watch the other people in the background singing along, it never matched up ever.
I noticed a little bit. Too.
I have to go back.
I noticed a little bit of that. Too.
I have to go.
I didn't notice that.
I did.
I have to go watch it.
So fun. And I think that's the trick is that I think you're so watching. I think if you're watching the main characters so much and they're on cue, so it's the illusion that everybody is because they're just in the background. But there are so many times, like throughout every song, I think in probably every scene where people are singing in the background, but their lips do not match what's being said at all. Like there's times when their lips are closed and they're like, and like there's music, like people singing and it's like giving the illusion of the entire town singing. And the other times when they're moving their lips and going like, and no sound is coming out whatsoever. Like it's very, very awkward and very weird. Look for it and you'll see it. You'll be like, this is rough.
No.
I mean, if we're talking music, I mean, oh, go ahead. You want to finish?
I'm just saying. Like I felt like I was. This is being maybe a little nitpicky, but if you look at it and you actually see it, I think you'll find that like, wow, this is very distracting now that I know it's here. Like, it was really, really, really.
That's funny. Nick, what do you think of the music? Before I jump into this,
I was fine with it. But I mean, I didn't notice any of that background stuff. But like, I like the choreography. The most of the singers did very well. A lot of the lyrics are always like they're class. The classic songs, the lyrics are great. They're catchy and they rhyme well. They've got good structure. So yeah, I liked it.
I mean,
the new songs were awful.
That's what I was okay.
Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
I was gonna say.
I don't know which songs are the new ones. I haven't seen the cartoon since I was a kid.
So I mean, I'll talk about the original. So they had Alan Menken back, who was the original composer and music director for it, which is great because Alan Menken I still think is the best composer for all the Disney films because he did Little Mermaid, then Beauty and the Beast, then Aladdin, like back to back to back, and those are like literally the best songs in my opinion. Beauty and the Beast music I think is the best. So I'm glad they had all the originals. I was actually surprised because I thought I was going to hate like even just Emma. I mean, Emma's not the greatest singer, but I thought I was going to literally just hate her, like her singing all the songs, especially the first one. The first one is like one of the best songs I think ever. And so I was, it was acceptable. It wasn't like completely a travesty in my eyes. But then the new songs, oh my God. Okay, so the new Belle song, it was like, not great, but it didn't kill my ears. The Beast song at the end, I was just like, oh my God, this is literally something that should have been edited out completely. It was like some song from Les Mis or something where it's like, oh, why are you leaving me? And and what does this mean for me and my life?
To his credit, though, Dan Stevens is a really good singer.
He was a good singer, but yeah, he was a good singer.
It was just the song was like super emo.
The song was awful.
Yeah.
It was stupid emo.
And the
I
timing,
watch you leave, and I'll love you, but I'll stay here.
Yeah, and it ruined the flow because the flow of the original was that he lets her go, and then he's still depressed, even when like Lavu and Lumiere like go and say, hey, they're coming and breaking down the door, and he's still in the same spot, like still depressed. It's like, just let him in.
He's just sitting there eating Cheetos.
This was just like he's scaling the tower and stuff. He's climbing the tower.
It's not even the real Cheetos. It's like the knockoff brand with popsicles from like writing.
Easy Puffs.
Dear Journal, Belle left today.
Yeah, it could have been that.
Gotta go update my Zanga journal.
My little sister's jeans fit me, and it's perfect.
I lost my key to my diary.
Yeah.
All right, Mav. How was
running
Emma?
on the back of it.
No, I agree. That song was very emo. Like, it was very like, okay.
I would have liked it more if it was more.
It did lose the flow.
Yeah, I would have liked it more if it was more angry. If it was an angry song rather than just a somber song.
I just didn't.
Like, why did I let her go?
Just like just him cursing that like his condition and like not being able to leave and all that shit. Yeah,
why isn't she into Beast?
I've got a condition. I've been cursed.
Poca Hotness in the chat asks actually a really good question. She says, how do you guys feel about the constant pauses in the original songs? I'm okay with the constant pauses only because I enjoy Broadway and because it's got more of a Broadway feel to it. The pauses are okay for me.
We can agree on. I think we all agree on
going
that.
in the background, so it picks back up and stuff. So it's like, it feels like it's a part of the song,
Yeah, and I think the only thing that really like justifies that again is the Broadway feel to it. Because in Broadway they do that a lot. They'll have like talking parts and then
you cried hard during this movie?
I cried during this movie. I cried.
Oh, wow.
Why?
I'm a crier though. Like Beast could be like, "I love you, Belle," and I'd be like, "That's." But I did cry. I did cry.
So what parts did you like? Like what parts did you cry the most at? Like what would you say?
Father-daughter part or anything like that?
I think it was more between the Beast and when like he started to change and he started to get better.
Oh yeah.
And they were like in the forest and then they're just it was just so pretty. So I cried
laughing. I cried laughing when he beat her in the face with that giant.
Dude, that was
awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was
like
actually
the greatest gag in the whole movie. I was like, are they gonna do it? And fucking sure enough, just beans her right in the
Dumb and Dumber style.
It was.
He like smashed her face in the snow and pat snow on her head and shit. Me and Cora looked at each other and died laughing when that happened. Because you don't expect it, right? Like you're thinking like, oh, this is kind of a Disney movie. We're not going to show a woman getting hurt or like showing any force or aggression towards women, even playfully, but then he fucking beamed her in the fucking nose.
It
was huge.
It was huge. I saw an interview where they talked to her about that, and she said it was actually her. And they were doing these shots where they were pegging her. There was a guy who was far away trying to hit her with a snowball. So he was throwing like tons of them at her and finally hit her in the face. And but she said that they CGI'd a bigger snowball.
Oh, okay.
She did get hit by an actual snowball, but they made it look bigger.
Yeah, that's what they did.
That's pretty funny. They could have just done CG the whole time.
I know.
Like, no.
So stupid.
That's because it's Emma Watson.
I guess. All right, Mav.
I don't know.
Let's talk Emma, Mav.
That's true.
Okay, let's
talk Emma, Mav.
Emma's awesome. I love Emma. She's amazing. She's literally my childhood. I am just a Harry Potter freak. But it was hard to not think of her as Emma and think of her as Belle. It was so hard to not be like, Hermione, no! I mean,
Yeah.
It was
like
so
she
hard.
fucking looks the part, especially in those
Yes.
costumes. Like she's like
gorgeous.
looks exactly like her.
She's like the best role model for girls, and she's beautiful and she's natural and it's everything. But she's just Emma. Like she's never.
I never go into a movie with Emma
Hermione
Watson expecting her to blow my mind with her acting skills because she's never really done. Like she gets the job done, but she never goes above and beyond for me.
Dude,
I've watched her in many movies outside of the Harry Potter series, and like it's always like she's an actress. Yeah, she's an actor, but she's not like there. Like she doesn't have the.
She's not like Cinderella, where you're like, wow, I don't even know what else she's played, but she looks like Cinderella, and I think she's Cinderella. Like she was definitely Emma as Belle.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I honestly don't think that she's that great an actress. I think that she did well as a kid in the Harry Potter movies. I think she carried that, and she's got that those chops, you know. And I think that gets her roles. But as an adult actress, I think she's far not far behind, but I think she's quite. I'll use the word quite. I think she's quite behind many other female actresses. Her age and other women in the industry, honestly. Well, I kept seeing her as Emma, like you said, instead of Belle. I thought that it was a miscast. Her singing face is very weird. Like she's trying to smile. Yeah, she's trying to smile, but she's trying to sing with power at the same time. And you can tell that she's not comfortable doing it because of her face. She does this thing where she's like this, like seeing like
it's like a tight jaw. She has a tight jaw.
Obviously they casted her because of who she is, but you could even see in the beginning when she's on top of the mountain singing, like she didn't move around. She didn't like do anything with the set. Like she had a huge mountaintop.
The sound of music moment.
It's the biggest scene in the movie. Yeah. And she's just standing there like, I don't know what I'm doing. What do I do with my hands? I don't even know.
Like, I don't.
It's tough because
it wasn't a good I don't think she'd ever make it on Broadway. So I feel like they should have picked someone a little bit more stage presence.
Well, it's challenging, right? Because there's not that many really famous actresses that sing well enough to, stand against Paige O'Hare, who, she was freaking phenomenal as the original, and she was a Broadway person, right? So how do you find somebody like that?
She's got to look like she can pass for 16.
Who would you have picked? So let's just throw it out there. Who do we have casted?
I honestly don't know. That's the problem. Like I really like that look as
part of me goes
aren't very good.
Rachel McAdams. Part of me goes Rachel McAdams, but she's maybe a little bit too old. But I think Rachel McAdams looks.
I feel like she could. I mean, she could, but I feel like she's almost too much of a great actress.
She's like 40. Like that's kind of hard.
It's tough. It's like Kate Beckinsale looks like her.
I'm thinking maybe like Evan Rachel Wood with brown hair.
Lily Collins
probably work.
Lily Collins honestly something similar, right? Or Emmy Rossum, who did Phantom. But she's
Emmy Rossum,
she would have been.
She's a little older now too. Yeah,
I would have been totally okay with like a Star Wars kind of approach to it and have somebody no name. Like I would have been totally okay if they would have grabbed somebody that has maybe done the Broadway or has done, like On Ice or done something that I would have been totally fine with a no name. Like I don't even need a star for this.
Yeah, that worked from Moana. The girl they found from Moana is fucking amazing, dude. Like
amazing, and she's actually 16.
Yeah, she's actually 16. It's crazy. She's a super good singer, good actor.
I got to be honest. We got Moana for Ginny, and I watched that movie like on my own and listened to the music. Yeah, like the crab. I mean, with what's his name, Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords. Yeah. I mean, that song is amazing. I listened to it. It's like a secret Flight of the Yeah.
I listened to You're Welcome. I have You're Welcome on my Spotify list, dude.
I listen to it all the time.
You're welcome.
It's way better.
We should have watched Moana. We should have watched Moana this week.
Yeah.
I just didn't think that she did. I don't think she did horribly.
It was Emma playing Belle. It was
Emma playing Belle. Yep.
It was like I said, I went into the movie like very ready to be crazy disappointed and just, oh my gosh, why did they choose Emma? This is
I was really worried.
It was adequate. It was that's all I'll say.
It wasn't. I'll say it was good. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best live action they've ever done, but it wasn't the worst.
It wasn't it wasn't Jungle Book status. Jungle Book was fucking crazy good.
I didn't. That was awesome.
Was it good? I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It was awesome.
But now that was their second time at a live action Jungle Book, though. So
that's true. That's true.
This one was realistic. This one was full out, go for it. With CGI and everything, right?
Yeah, Emma cosplays Belle in Beauty and the Beast.
that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Well, you know who else we could have maybe would Anna Kendrick have worked? I mean, she's picked for everything with singing. So
let me see.
Yes, she would have been amazing. She was.
I don't know if she could do a convincing British accent though.
You're right. She probably couldn't. No, you know what? It's fine.
You can train. I mean,
she would have been awesome. Actually,
you don't think so?
I think it. Yeah. I think that she would have done. She would have been okay. And that's another thing too is with Emma. I didn't like how it looked like she was reacting to things in front of her, like purposely. Like you can tell, like during the Be Our Guest song. It's like there's like scenes where she's just going.
Yeah.
And it's like you can tell
that wasn't very good.
In front of her, like, look at these and pretend that they're alive. And she's like,
well, it's pretty hard though.
Really,
that's really hard.
Bad for just sitting there. It's really, really bad though. Like you can just tell she's just doing like facial reactions.
I wish they would have just not done that. I wish they would have just kept putting things in front of her where she was like looking down, and then Lumiere doing her own thing, sort of like the movie was.
That's true.
In the movie, they just had so many things in front of her. She was just like, "Oh my gosh," and then you didn't have to like look around because the way that they cut that wasn't very good. The direction, I don't think it was so much her fault. I think it was just like the production direction and how they decided to connect where things were being looked at, because it was just. She's not a super bubbly person. Like Emma is kind of a dark person anyways, like her playing someone who's like enthralled and like, oh, dishes. Like you would never picture Emma doing that.
Slytherin.
Slytherin, exactly.
She's
right.
very Slytherin.
She really is. Like she really like her person, just how she is normally that's just how she is. So having her play Bella was like, she had to like pretend to be a happy person.
Yeah, no, I totally know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
The iconic moment, right? Everybody talks about the yellow dress, and Emma does look phenomenal in the the yellow dress.
Very long though.
Yeah, that scene, I have to say,
very long.
Dude, in the animated movie, that was like the most innovative portion of the movie. A lot of people talked about it because they had the panning camera, just even from the standpoint of effects and everything. And I was at least expecting those kind of those
like
kind
of
shots.
Song.
Most of the time, they were like bottom half of the screen.
Yeah.
I was like, what? It's like, are you serious? You can do all these cool things with cameras, and this is like one of the most iconic Disney scenes ever. And they ended up showing them sometimes in the bottom left corner, and it was just like, wow, I couldn't believe it. It was, that part was probably one of the most disappointing parts for me. Was the dance.
That's a lost art. By the way. Like
a lot of this acting, photography, and cinematic.
Let's meet up just to dance. Like, when would you ever like invite a woman just to dance? Like, we're gonna meet here at 8:00. No words are gonna be spoken. We will speak through dance. like that's it. Like they don't talk. Like they don't talk. We just show up and we go right into it. It's like a lost thing, man. Like nobody would ever do that.
We dance.
Yeah. Tonight we dance.
That'll be a cute, like first date move. You're like, hey,
what is this, Phantom of the Opera?
Let's go to this karaoke bar and slow dance to the slow songs that people are singing.
That's a great idea, guys. Step it up mixed with that, man. Or something modern.
And then you get to Starbucks and you guys just break into salsa in the middle of Starbucks. No, but it's like, it really is. It's kind of, it's, I guess the live action version of it made me feel how silly that is in a contemporary setting.
What they could have done is actually had them talk during it. Like they could have done something. They could have had music, and then they could have like talked a little bit and then went outside. They just like burst outside where she was like, I have to go. And then he was like, okay. But there wasn't like in real life now, like let's say you go to like a wedding, right? And you're dancing. So you dance a little bit, you're probably talking, and then then you go somewhere else. Like that's just how it is nowadays. So they should have done something like that if they're going to be so modern with the entire movie.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, at the very, very end of it, it was just like, if you're watching Viennese waltzing and stuff, at the very end, right? They kind of walk hand in hand off of the dance floor. So yeah, that was very, very old school, old fashioned.
If if I was dancing with a woman and then like the next thing I know, no words are spoken, she's like, I have to leave, I would feel really bad about my abilities.
You're like, damn.
I'd be like, damn, I suck at dancing.
Fuck, I took classes for months. What the hell?
I'm literally royalty. This is what I learned, and I'm terrible at it. I couldn't keep her here.
I got turned into a
library.
fucking dog person while I was dancing. I think I know what I'm doing.
I'm a freaking minotaur. Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't keep her here with a giant library when literally that's what gets her the wettest. Books.
Yeah.
Okay. Like she's all about books, and I couldn't keep
That
her here when I
seems kind
gave
of
her
cool.
an entire library of books, like thousands and thousands of books. She's still like, I gotta get out
But
of
they
here.
kind of messed it up, right? Because it was like
He called her
random.
a peasant.
He called her a peasant. Did he really?
He was like, "Oh,
forgot about
I've
that.
read all these. They're not very good."
Except for
She's
the
like,
Greek
I
ones.
want to read them.
Give me the bad ones.
But and you know, in the original though, it was a gift to her. You know, like him
Right, it
showing
was
her
a
the gift.
gift.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't in this one. In this
Yeah,
one,
it
it's just
was.
like no, it was like, hey, you want to check out the library? And it's like, you know, just I'm giving you the tour of the place, you know, and then
No,
No,
he
he
did.
said-
He
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 did
did give
say.
it to her.
Did
He
he?
did
Yeah,
give it
he's
to her.
He
oh
was
no,
like,
he
"It's
gave it to
yours."
her. No, but I'm saying like he showed it in the original. He showed
Yeah.
it to her as a gift and then gave it to her. You know,
It wasn't so
that-
Yeah.
casual, like, oh, you like
Yeah.
books? Oh, well, you can have it. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't like
Yeah.
that.
It was a
Yeah, but,
powerful
you know, and
moment in
then-
the first one. It
And then
was-
he's like, oh, these old musty tomes, you know, like that kind of thing.
I've read
but,
them all.
but here's the thing is that
Important.
one of those fucking
Yeah.
books is an enchanted book where you could time travel. It's like, this is not your normal everyday library, you know, like you're just
Yeah,
giving away
yeah.
books with time travel. Like, what the fuck, man? Like
I,
later on,
I
it was
used
like,
to wear lipstick. I don't even know anymore.
like, I don't know. I feel like there was some really like magical, we saw magical things in that library. Like,
Yeah.
this guy just up and gives it away. And it's like, okay, cool, man. Give away your time travel book.
Yeah.
Will you shave my back, please? I'll give you a library.
I'll give you like, will you just love me? Will you just
Love me.
who I
Oh
God.
my God.
There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, did you guys find it weird? The whole I love the moral dilemma that it puts. I always forget his
LeFou.
LeFou. I love the
LeFou.
moral dilemma that it puts him in with Gaston when they leave the dad there to die. But I thought that whole leaving the dad there to die,
yeah.
and then the enchantress
Yeah,
finds
that was
him
dark.
and brings him back just to then continue to punish the man. Like
But he
there was
knew
no
her.
reason. Huh?
He knew her.
Well, she
She
was
was-
in
was the
in
leper. She was
disguise
like
as,
the
a,
leper
as like
or
the peasant
whatever.
woman.
Right,
Yeah,
but
as a woman.
but Belle's dad was like, "Oh, hi, Judy." Like he was like, "We meet
Judy,
again."
did you
Like,
untie me,
how did he
please?
know her? Like
I
they
think
seem
she- I
so
think she goes to
casual.
town. I think she goes to town to like sell stuff she finds in the woods or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's one of the definitely like the
just,
homeless
like,
people in the
Casually, like he just wakes up and he's like, "Oh, hi, Francis." Like I'm just gonna keep giving her.
What's up, Margaret?
How did it happen? How did it happen
Yo,
in the
Fanny.
animated? In the animated, how did he get back to town?
So
Wasn't he
he-
like dragged by the horse? and the
ran.
horse got
No, he
over?
ran.
He ran and he
Yeah.
busted through the doors
Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh my God, something happened!" And Gaston was like, "We have to go get her, and like this could make her happy." And
But they
Yeah.
it was
I-
actually pretty dark.
But they
It
didn't
was
end up
pretty
going through that
dark.
scene about tying him up. He just went. They had the asylum aspect of it, right? And that's how
Right.
you know he ended up blackmailing Belle, which they kind
Yeah.
of did. They did at the end. They just added
The
this
silent
whole
part was
time.
really not good though. He wasn't very scary. The one in the animated movie was terrifying.
Yeah,
I
he
remember
was.
just being like,
Like,
"I'm not crazy."
I don't want to go to a loony bin. Get
I'm
him
not
away from
crazy.
me.
see Maurice. I was like a really crazy guy. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, that scene just seems so weird to me. It's like, well, we don't believe you. Tie him up to the tree and leave him for the wolves, which the wolves never came. I don't know why. But
I like the girls though. The three girls that love Gaston. They have the dark hair.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
kind of cool because usually they're like little blonde little bimbos, but no, they were a little like marionette style with dark hair. It was really cool. I
Yeah.
liked the difference.
well, they're French.
Right?
Yeah, man. There was something else. Oh, speaking of the wolves, I loved the wolves in this thing, man. Like, I don't know why, but like for some reason, these wolves, I was like, damn, those like some dangerous ass wolves. Like normally, like wolves are pretty dangerous, right? But they make them look
Damn.
really sinister in this. I was like, Jesus Christ! And they kicked the shit out of him, man. Like he's a huge beast. I love the fight scene. I thought the fight scene was
Yeah.
really well done,
It was
especially for kids are gonna watch this, right? So it can't
Yeah.
be too it can't be too whatever. But I
There
thought they
can't be
did really
legs
well.
and arms flying everywhere.
Ripping heads
but,
off.
but I don't know. It was hard to buy
Blood.
that. It was hard to buy that one of these little wolves comparative to him like could do so much damage to him. You know?
I thought they could have been a little bigger, or maybe there were more.
Yeah,
or they
I
attacked
agree.
him all at once. You know, it was still a little bit one at a time, and he was struggling with one of them. Yeah,
but I mean that was one of my favorite parts of the animated was just how much he struggled fighting them. Like while he was messing with this one would come up and bite him. You know, like wolves do. Wolves do that. It's almost like hyenas. You know, like they surround you. They get the pack mentality. You know, the alpha will challenge and the others will pick. You know, like you didn't really see that in this, but I still really liked the fighting scene. I thought it was really good. I'm glad that they made a point to have her go, you're going to have to help me with this. Because if he just ended up on that horse, I would have been like, this is some bullshit. There's no way little Emma Watson could put him on that would have been my nitpick moment. But I didn't because
she could have been like, this is squat day, so let's do this.
She's dragging
I've been doing
him like a
CrossFit
freaking
in my
tiger.
province in town. I've been doing laundry with this giant barrel. Like, how'd she get a giant barrel there? Does it just stay there all day? You know, like, she's got to be benching that thing all the way over there. She's got to be, like, on her shoulders walking every day.
What about the horse, though? What about the horse?
She's hardy. What about the horse?
What about the horse? The horse wasn't even the same type of horse. The horse
Are you getting onto the horse now?
Wow.
The horse in the original series was a Clydesdale
nerd.
breed, okay? It was like a Shire horse. This horse was
That's
a regular, looks
That's
like
true.
a thoroughbred
I didn't
warm
think of that.
blood,
Yeah,
okay? It should be more of a Clydesdale type of horse.
It's modern
Okay,
days.
understand the situation. You're gonna go all out, Disney.
I don't personally go to that level of nitpicking, but I'm not going to judge because I get pretty nitpicky on something.
What about that type of apple she fed the horse at the beginning? Like that was not. It was a Granny Smith.
It was a Granny Smith apple. I know for sure, and it was a Red Delicious in the animated. I know for sure. It was
I can't believe they didn't feed it a gala apple. That's ridiculous.
Okay, all right, you guys gotta clear something up for me because I think I'm just missing something here because it was in the movie and in this, or at least in the movie to a degree, but it was even worse in the animated movie, but worse this time around. So when the last petal falls, okay, on the rose, isn't the curse supposed to stay there?
Yes.
Right?
The enchantress came back and she was like,
She
all right,
was
you found
there.
love.
She
Sick.
saw it.
Yeah.
I know, but okay, all right.
I
so
agree
she
with you,
reversed
Chan.
it. She reversed it. Is that
Yeah,
the deal?
it-
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She
So like,
created the curse so she can fuck with it all she wants. She's the
Oh,
coder. You know?
man.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like-
that's exactly it. Like, I mean,
I don't know, 'cause
you
some
follow the rules
movies-
because she put in the rules, and because she put in the rules, she's the god of the rules. So if she
What a
changes the
bitch.
rules,
She's the architect.
yeah, she's the architect.
architect,
Vis-a-vis
yeah.
in concordance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with that though. It was kind of weird that it was like, oh, it's all over. Just kidding. It's kind of like it almost had like
That's
this.
when I cried.
They did it
Oh,
better
yeah.
in the movie because
That was it.
all the guys turned
That
into
was the
static.
moment. I remember
Yeah.
now. No, it was because it was literally you didn't get to see that in the beginning. You didn't get to see everyone die. You know, like you
Yeah,
literally
that's
saw
true. That's one thing they did
everybody
better.
die.
They did better.
Yeah,
They did better with that.
You did.
You
see
saw everybody
Yeah.
die. The flower petal did fall. Everyone did turn to stone, and
Yeah, that's
then
true.
she was there. So I did cry for that. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps.
That is true. You know, and
That was
I did,
done
you know,
well.
now that you
Oh,
say
it
that,
was-
I actually really like that because it was all like
Oh my
goodbyes. Like
God.
it was like what a pleasure it was to be your friend or whatever. You know,
Beautiful.
like all this. Like if I was sinking on a ship, you know, with you
She's like,
guys, I would look
"No!"
at you and
And-
I'd be like, hey, you know,
It
it was
was
been a
good.
pleasure to be your friend. Like it was good
Exactly.
to know you in my life. You know, like into
Titanic.
300. You know, it's a
I
pleasure
liked
to
how-
die by
I
your
liked
side.
I liked how Belle's tear didn't save him. I liked how it wasn't Belle who saved the beast, really. It was the lady being a
Well,
creeper.
she did and she didn't.
The lady
But, like-
being a creeper.
What's her name? Meredith?
Meredith, the Enchantress.
Bertha the Enchantress.
It's Barb the
Bill.
Enchantress.
Yeah, no, I actually did really like that. I like
Everyone
that change.
died.
Yep.
Everyone
yep,
died.
Yep. Even the
I've
dog.
never seen that. Even like any Disney movie, really, you don't really see that. You don't see them finish people off.
Mhm.
So
But God, it was
the zombie
immaculate.
castle.
You want to know the time that I got goosebumps, and I always get goosebumps at the scene is the transformation scene. That music and the
It's
transformation
so
scene
good.
is insanely good, and it was
Especially
just
right
as
after
good in
everyone
this one.
died.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, oh man, I was waiting for it because that's like my favorite scene from the animated when he transforms. That music is playing, it's that fucking great music, and then he
It's
turns around,
iconic.
it's like, whoa, you know, like he's like fucking a paladin or something. I don't even know.
but
Just the
he's like,
light
"I'm
is
dead."
on
You
him.
know one thing though, it's like in the animated
Watch
series.
Legion.
Yeah, that's true. one thing in the animated series, he had the same color eyes, right? So she could tell it was him. But in this one, it was like, I don't think they had the same color eyes at all. And she's just like looking at him.
I have
like,
to rewatch it because I feel like if I go back and watch it and see the Beast face, I feel like I'll see him in it.
You think
I feel like you'll see it. Yeah, I really do because they're pretty good about that. Animators are pretty annoyingly like perfectionist
meticulous.
With those things. Yeah, so it'd be cool to rewatch it.
Yeah, maybe
for sure.
Well,
for sure.
That's kind of how I felt about the movie. I'm not sure. I mean, I can add on to what you guys do. I think I've talked about everything I want.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, obviously it's a huge blockbuster success, and I'm sure Disney's going to be doing some more of this. Maybe Aladdin next or something like that.
Oh my God, they would. Oh, there's just. I don't know. Aladdin's like number one, man.
Really,
and
for you?
They really have to knock it out of the park.
Okay. It's number 2.
It's not number 1, but it's definitely top 3 for me. Like, there's so like.
As long as they don't fucking whitewash that shit, man. Like
Robin Williams is like,
play Aladdin.
Like I cried when that guy died. So like I would have unfair expectations for that movie for sure. I'd be like, what are you doing? It's like remaking Batman. Like, what the hell?
I watched Little Mermaid recently with Junie. I watched some of it, and man, I watched that scene with Ursula, and I was like, this is some dark ass shit, man.
I know, right?
Like the whole Ursula
She's
song
really dark.
is like crazy, man. And I was like, damn. I used to think like some of the other songs were maybe my favorites, but I think now the Ursula song is my favorite by far. Just
she's a great character.
Oh yeah, she's a great character. I would love to see a live action Little Mermaid. I really would. I'd be totally down for that. I know it doesn't sound very manly, and I don't give a fuck, but I liked Little Mermaid. That's easily top 3 for me.
A younger Amy Adams as Ariel or something like that.
Come on, you.
Or Isla Fisher or something like that. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys that you guys had on your mind when you're watching that you just want to talk about or bring up or anything like that? Before we move on, like now, speak now or forever hold.
We went through this pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, actually. I think we get callers around this time, but we're not doing callers today. So
yeah.
So it usually fills in the extra 20 minutes.
Well, somebody said that Aladdin is confirmed. Wow.
Really?
Oh my God! I'm sure they're gonna do it to all of them. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, probably.
Years. Like, look at Star Wars. They're coming out with all kinds of different side stuff, which I personally did not like Rogue One. So
we did an episode.
Yeah, we did Rogue One.
We had mixed opinions about it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good.
I rewatched it recently, and I liked it a lot better the second time around.
Did you? Because I felt like it was hard to like go back and rewatch. So I'm gonna just maybe go rewatch it again because. I don't know. Star Wars is like one of those movies that's like, what are we going to do tonight? Let's just watch Star Wars again. Like, it's just like one of those franchises, I feel like.
Yeah, I think the static is back again, too.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Get out of here.
I have no idea what it is. I'm going to have to figure it out.
The nostalgia money? Yeah.
If we all make staticky noises, then no one will tell.
It's not like that. It's a little ticks. They're little ticks. I when I'm listening to the stream right now.
Yeah. So overall, I thought the movie was pretty good. I thought it was good. I guess not pretty good. It was good. I'll say good. It was adequate. I felt like it was worth my money. I felt like there were definitely some things that bothered. Again, if you get a chance to watch it again, watch the extra singing along. It's really terrible and distracting. But other than that, it was a decent movie. I think it was adequate. Adequate. I think I got what I wanted out of it. Yeah. So, which is
it going to be as iconic as the first one for this generation though? What do you guys think? It could be for like little kids.
No, because I know kids that are like, let's go watch Moana.
Let's go watch Guardian of the Galaxy instead.
I gotta assume that kids, having once been a kid myself and having a child, I feel like kids like animation more than they like live action, just naturally. I think there's places for both of them, but I think overall, from what I've seen, like kids, I mean, that's why they do animated movies, right? And CGI and stuff like that. Like most live action things, we can't get Junie to pay attention to. But if you throw up a cartoon of it, or an animated, like a CGI or something, she loves it. It's. I think most kids
there's more freedom to using that medium too, to be able to like express whatever story they're trying to make. So.
Yeah, I think it gives to the fantastical much easier when it's animated or CGI than real life people anyways. So
agreed.
I think it kind of fits really well. I think it was good. I don't think it's going to be like, something all kids today will remember and keep with them or something for 30 years, but
agreed. Not very timeless.
All right. So should we talk about next week?
Yeah, let's talk about next week.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Drum roll. Nick, you chose this one, or Diction, you chose this one. So why don't you introduce it?
Okay, Punk Rock Jesus. We're doing our first full episode about a comic book. We did the Killing Joke comic and
movie
cartoon. But this is just a straight graphic novel. You can get it on Kindle for like $10. I want to say.
I think it's $9.99.
I'm not lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really, really dark, very gory, very fucked up, but a really, really interesting like sci-fi and kind of pseudo-religious, meta-religious story. I read it a couple years ago. I used to be at a comic book club that my friends started, and that was my first time reading it. It was really, really good.
How long do you think it takes to get through it?
I read that over the course of like a couple of days.
Okay.
It's 255 pages. A lot of them are just one-page spreads with images and no dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
That you can just soak up at however fast you want to.
Yeah, I would imagine something like that would probably only take 2 to 4 hours. Something
a weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Not that long. We've done full episodes on like BoJack Horseman all 3 seasons. So
I know.
30
episodes. It's been ridiculous.
Man.
Yeah, I think we can handle this.
This is true. I'm excited because graphic novels is one of those mediums that I just haven't really totally jumped into, like
me too,
like fully. And that's because most of the time you have to buy the comic, right?
You have to buy them. There's like a history. There's like a fan base. There's like all these things you need to know.
Yeah, it gets heavy when you get into it. But I have appreciated and enjoyed many, many graphic novels. But there's definitely just tons of them out there that I haven't even touched. So I'm excited. I've never even heard of this before.
Me too. This would be completely new to me.
Who was it? Vertigo?
It is
Vertigo.
Oh, was it? Is it Vertigo?
Oh,
I don't know if it is. It just sounds like it is. It sounds like something Vertigo would publish. Sometimes, sometimes
Vertigo.
It is Vertigo. Okay, it sounded like.
See, you good.
I got it. No, but it's usually you can tell because if it doesn't have superheroes and it's gory and it's adult themed, then it's Vertigo usually.
Yeah.
So it's like Marvel and DC will go into adult themes and stuff like Identity Crisis and things like that. But for the most part, they keep it kid friendly, teenager friendly, that kind of thing. So you don't see the level of like gore and grit and stuff that you do in this. So I'm super excited. I'm really am. So thank you, Diction, for bringing this to us.
No problem.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. Excited to do so.
Diction always has awesome suggestions, like Preacher. I didn't watch it till we talked about it.
Oh, dude, Preacher was one of my favorites. Oh, we can go into that. But here, let me throw this out there for everybody.
It was one
in
of your
chat.
favorites? You're a liar.
No, not Preacher the show.
Liar.
Preacher the graphic novel.
Yeah,
No, the graphic novel.
Graphic novel.
No, the graphic novel is my favorite of all time.
Okay.
The show was shit. If you're in the chat and this is your first time here, what we're talking about, I want to make it clear. So the idea is to have this sort of like a book club. But for movies, shows, comic books, all sorts of things. So this we will take and we will read this week, Punk Rock Jesus, and then we will meet back up next week. So feel free to read it this week, meet back up with us, take a look, get a little bit of homework, and and then be with us next week. And while we talk about Punk Rock Jesus in its entirety. So that's all I have really to say at the end.
That's awesome. I like that you guys are like broadening into all of like entertainment. I think it's important.
Well, it's nice because
change it up.
Part of the reason we started the show was to explore new things too. Not just to cover old things, but to kind of have a good spectrum and to learn more too. Like Chan actually hasn't seen a lot of anime, and he just watched Akira a month or two ago. So it's nice. It is. It's multi-layered. It helps us out, and all of us obviously love media. So any excuse to get into more.
Right? Yeah, I feel that.
It's like my wife will be like, "Why are you watching this? Why are you just sitting there watching it?" Because I need to for spoiler alerts. That's why.
Mom.
This is my job, okay? That's what I tell Cora. I'm like, this is my job. I have to go up there and watch this.
Exactly. Another movie? Yeah, another movie. It's
Get out of my office. I'm reading Punk Rock Jesus for work.
The lights aren't even on. It's fine. I'm feeling it.
I'm sleeping on it.
Well, why don't we wrap up? Mav, is awesome having you on. I'm meeting you
thank
for the
you.
first time.
Yeah,
actually.
thank you for being
I
on the
always
show.
have
It's a
so much fun. It's an honor, and I hope to come back. This is fun.
Yeah,
We will have you back.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Sweet.
Any shout outs you want to do, or where can people find you?
Oh, my name is Mav. I'm at TheMavShow pretty much over everything. I play a lot of Destiny, but I play a lot of other games too. I'm sort of on a Zelda kick, and I'm just having fun with everything. Just trying to catch up on seeing movies right when they come out and all kinds of stuff. So I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, and my chat is awesome. So that's where I'll be.
My community will not click with yours at all. I'm sorry.
Loud streamer, what?
But
I know,
just
I
this
can't
out
help
there,
it. I have one volume.
I don't know what that's like. If you guys want to toss her a follow, Lucky was nice enough to throw it up in the chat, so it's at your convenience.
Lucky you.
Addiction. Shout outs.
Hi. I'm twitch.tv/eMyDiction1 and on Twitter too. Go follow me and stuff.
Do it. He's awesome.
Man, I'm compelled. Here I go.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, this is my channel here at Ellohime. If you guys want to follow on the channel, it's great. If not, that's cool too. All my social media is here on the channel. Yeah, thank you so much to the MavShow for being our guest. There is going to be a guest next week, secret guest right now because we have not quite confirmed it yet. But anyways, no, it's always a pleasure to do the show with you guys, and I have a lot of fun. So can't wait to meet back next week.
Awesome. And I'll round things out by thanking all three of you guys for doing this show. It was a lot of fun. And everybody for watching too. You can find the VODs for the show on youtube.com/ChanManV. And I think actually Ello has it on his channel too. So you can find it either one. Also, you can follow actually, we don't have a Twitter account yet, do we?
We don't have a Twitter account. We have
a Twitter account for
iTunes.
iTunes. That's what it is. iTunes. You can find us on iTunes.
Listen to us on your morning commute.
Yeah, definitely. You can find us. You can search for our spoiler alerts, and you can listen to iTunes or Google Podcasts as well as SoundCloud too. So you can find us on all three audio channels. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. So for the Mav Show, Eat My Diction, Ellohime, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Later.
Cheers. Very good.